The maid who had come was named Yan. She was a high-ranked maid in the residence. Although her position was incomparable to Zhang, she still had a certain amount of respect from others. As letting Yan deliver food on the night of New Year's Eve was something that had not happened in the past few years, Zhang must have wanted to stop everyone from gossiping and portraying herself to be meticulously caring to the ill, bedridden daughter of the Jiang family. When Yan placed the food basket down, she quickly scrutinized the residence at the same time. This was the first time to visit Jiang Ruan's residence. She observed a shabby and decaying air permeating the tight spaces of the residence and traces of rainwater seeping through the walls from the leaking roof. The blanket on the bed was also extremely thin. Even the most basic utensils were particularly defective. Living in such a damp and dark house, it would be odd if the body was not frail. At a glance, this did not look like a wealthy lady's chamber at all. Even the lowest ranked slave in this residence perhaps did not live as shabby as this. As Yan had been settled in the main residence for a long time, she understood in her heart that although the Zhang family was greedy and harsh, they would not be so brazen in treating a lady like this if the higher-ups did not intend to treat her that way. Since this was the case, naturally she would not meddle. "Your name is Yan, I assume?" The person on the bed opened her mouth. Her voice was still a little hoarse, yet it oddly carried a subtle emotion. Yan raised her head smiling. "Yes, it is." Bai Zi in Lanshao guarded Jiang Ruan's sides, watching Yan closely. In this residence, they could only trust themselves, since everyone else harbored bad motives towards the trio. Jiang Ruan smiled. "Today is New Year's Eve. These clothes worn by Sister Yan are fittingly festive. You wear them beautifully." These words were a little strange. Yan could not wrap her head around them. She smiled. "It is Aunt who ordered them to be tailor-made. I am just a servant. To say that they are beautiful, Miss, you must be joking with me." Jiang Ruan sighed lightly. "Auntie Lan is considerate. Did the entire residence have new clothes made for them?" Her soft voice contained a smile. Yan subconsciously wanted to nod her head in agreement before reacting quickly. The entire residence had gotten new clothes made for them, and yet this lady and her maids in front of her were the only ones who were left out. However, regardless of the situation, these words could not be uttered. She just wanted to dodge this topic when Jiang Ruan spoke softly. "The two maids by my side are clumsy, and even the clothes worn by them are not as festive looking as Sister Yan's. There is something that Sister Yan is wrong about. I'm not cracking jokes. Although Sister Yan is a servant, you seem to live more comfortably and respectably than I." The words were too sharp, in stark contrast with their owner's gentle tone. Without reason, Yan unexpectedly felt a bout of nervousness. She raised her head unconsciously to look at the person on the bed. Under the dim candlelight, the lady on the bed accepted hot tea from Bai Zi. The rising spirals from the steaming tea concealed her face partially. She could not see her expression clearly, just long dropping eyelashes drawing elegant curves that appeared unusually enticing. Jiang Ruan's voice was laced with a smile when it reached her. With Sister Yan's kind of face, when you have reached a marriageable age, it is certain that you will be married into a good family. The second son of Landlord Ma from the outskirts is quite decent. He already has 12 concubines. Of course, Sister Yan could be arranged to become the 13th concubine. Yan was surprised. Chills slowly rose from her soles, her expression paling immediately. Biting her lips, she could not utter a single word, and stared at Jiang Ruan with widened eyes. Jiang Ruan was not worried. She merely brought the warm tea closer to her lips, sipping it lightly. After a while, Yan finally gathered her courage. Puffing her chest, she spoke. I do not know what Miss is talking about. The first half of the sentence was spoken in a righteous and confident manner. However, when she reached the later half, she did not know why she began to feel guilty. A talented person should choose both a good position that one can excel in and a leader that chooses one wisely. Humans walk through towards the peak, while water flows towards the lower grounds. It is normal for Sister Kyuyan to act this way. You don't need to feel shy. She tilted her head with a laugh. This is a good matter. If there's a day when Sister Kyuyan becomes the 13th concubine, of course, I will gift you a set of rouge. Sister Kyuyan's reputation, I think, is also something that you acquired through your intelligence. Kyuyan stood on her spot, holding her fist tightly. Jiang Ruan needed the space between her eyebrows. Even if it has been just a while, I feel sleepy. My body has not recovered yet, so I cannot personally deliver my New Year greetings to Auntie Lan. I'm troubling Sister Kyuyan to do this for me. After finishing her words, she ordered Baizi, "Go and send Sister Kyuyan away." This was considered as an invitation for her to leave. At that moment, Kyuyan could not make up her mind. Naturally, she wished to leave this stifling house immediately. She nodded her head agreeably in panic. Her faint superiority when she arrived was no longer visible. When Baizi and Kyuyan walked to the door, Jiang Ruan opened her mouth again. "By the way, Sister Kyuyan, the clothes for both my maids that I mentioned earlier, since it is already the new year, I want to see a little cheer. Sister Kyuyan, please think of a way for them to look more festive." Kyuyan bit her lips. Miss is being forcefully difficult. "Sister Kyuyan is a smart person," Jiang Ruan interrupted her. "Otherwise, how will you become the 13th concubine?" Kyuyan's face whitened even more, and she replied hatefully, "Yes." After Baizi sent Kyuyan away, Lin Shao asked, "What happened earlier, miss? How did Kyuyan claim a connection of a higher status with the second son of Landlord Ma?" "She has been presenting a false facade in front of the second son of the Ma family to achieve her purpose. Now they are at a stage where they're intimately close," Jiang Ruan spoke. In her past life, someone chanced upon the private affair between Kyuyan and the second son of the Ma family after it went on for a few years. When this scandal was exposed, the son of the Ma family was left unharmed. Kyuyan, however, was drowned alive in a cage that was used to constrain pigs during transport. Before that, Kyuyan had already been tormented to the extent of having an unsound mind. She kept repeating over and over again that she was the second son of the Ma family's 13th concubine. Probably when there had been an intense mutual attraction, he might have promised her that. It was just that, in the end, Kyuyan was not fated to be the 13th concubine. Naturally, Jiang Ruan would not reveal this matter. It finally dawned on Lin Shao. No wonder she was this shocked. She is really a shameful person. She does not have any sense of honor or shame. As she was just a few years older than 10, she reddened immediately. "Just that, miss, how do you know of these things?" Lin Shao doubted deeply in her heart. Not only that, she also discovered that today Jiang Ruan seemed as though she had practically switched personalities. She, who had always been submissive, really threatened Kyuyan this boldly, without fear. Even as they were talking about this filthy matter, there was nothing peculiar about her expression, as if she was just mentioning an extremely ordinary household matter. Compared to Baizi and her, Jiang Ruan had less opportunities to step out of the house. Throughout the year, there were always unfinished chores in the residence. She had no chance to encounter these things. Lin Shao had her suspicions, yet Jiang Ruan did not answer her question. She merely said, "Lin Shao, do you want to stay here for your whole life?" "Of course I do not want to." Lin Shao had an outspoken and bold personality, so she spoke without much thought. "Do not worry, miss. Naturally, we will not stay in this residence for an entire lifetime. After some time has passed, Master will come for you." Jiang Ruan smiled. She was more aware than anyone else as to when they would send for her. She had no patience to wait until then, and she did not want to either. Why should we wait? Qiuyan will send us to the capital soon. Lan Shao was distracted for a while before looking at Zhang Ruan subconsciously. However, she only saw that the girl yawning slowly in an elegant manner. Under her straight nose, the red pursed lips that tasted tea earlier curved slightly.